Angel's tremendous, tremendous player. I have nothing but respect for her. I love her game. The way she rebounds the ball, scores the ball is absolutely incredible.
In sports, rivalries are what legends are made of. But when two of the biggest stars in women's basketball collide, it's more than just a game. It's a cultural moment. Clark and Angel Reese have turned the basketball court into a stage where respect, rivalry, and raw emotion play out in real time. Today, we're diving into the story behind their explosive encounters, the double standards in sports, and how this rivalry is redefining women's basketball. The rivalry between Clark and Angel Reese isn't just a clash of two talented athletes. It's a narrative that has captivated millions, bringing attention to women's basketball like never before. Their story reached a fever pitch during the 2023 NCAA National Championship Game, a game that would become a defining moment not just for the players, but for the sport itself. As the game unfolded, LSU was on a mission, and Angel Reese was leading the charge. The Tigers were on the brink of claiming their first national title, and with each passing minute, the tension escalated. But what truly set this game apart was what happened in the final moments. With victory all but secured, Angel Reese turned to Clark and made a gesture that would be replayed and debated endlessly. A "you can't see me" hand wave, followed by pointing to her ring finger, signifying the championship ring she was about to win. This taunting gesture quickly became iconic, symbolizing the fierce competitiveness that defines both Reese and Clark. However, it also sparked a heated debate about sportsmanship. Critics were quick to label Reese's actions as unsportsmanlike, while others saw it as a natural part of the competitive spirit.
My issue with Reese is that she followed Clark around the floor. The game was over. Clark is walking off, and Reese is trying to catch up to her to wave in her face and point at her finger. And do you feel better about yourself now?
But then Clark did something unexpected. She defended her rival.
I don't think Angel should be criticized at all. No matter which way it goes, she should never be criticized for what she did. I'm just one that competes, and she competed. So I think everybody knew there was going to be a little trash talk in the entire tournament.
Clark's defense of Reese was a powerful statement, one that underscored the mutual respect between these two athletes, despite the heated moments on the court. But Clark didn't stop there. She also addressed a broader issue that has long plagued women's sports: the double standard in how emotional expression and trash talk are perceived. Clark pointed out that while trash talk has always been a part of men's basketball, it's often criticized or downplayed in the women's game.
I think men have always had trash talk. That's what it's been, and I think more and more people, as they turn on the game, they're appreciating it for what it is.
Clark's comments highlighted a significant cultural shift. As women's basketball continues to grow in popularity, with more eyes on the game than ever before, the acceptance of competitive banter and emotional expression is becoming more normalized. Clark herself embodies this change, as she's known for wearing her emotions on her sleeve and competing with intensity.
I'm just lucky enough that I get to play this game and have emotion and wear it on my sleeves, and so does everybody else. So that should never be torn down. That should never, be criticized, because I believe that's what makes this game so fun. That's what draws people to this game.
She explained. This conversation around the double standard in trash talk and emotional expression is crucial, not just for Clark and Reese, but for all women athletes. It challenges the outdated notion that women should compete in a certain way, quietly, respectfully, and without the bravado often celebrated in men's sports. Clark and Reese are redefining what it means to be a competitive female athlete, showing that intensity, passion, and yes, even trash talk have a place in women's basketball. The 2023 NCAA Championship wasn't just a game, it was a cultural moment. With an average of 9.9 million viewers and a peak at 12.6 million, the game drew unprecedented attention, solidifying the growing popularity of women's basketball. The rivalry between Clark and Reese, combined with the dramatic moments on the court, played a significant role in this viewership spike, making it a landmark event in sports history. But this story didn't end with the final buzzer of that championship game. The rivalry between Clark and Reese carried over into the 2024 NCAA tournament, where the two faced off again in the Elite Eight. This time it was Clark's Iowa team that came out on top, defeating Reese's LSU in a highly anticipated rematch. The competitive spirit was on full display, with both players showcasing their incredible skills and determination. And as they transitioned into the WNBA, the rivalry only intensified. In June 2024, Clark and Reese met on the professional stage, with Reese now playing for the Chicago Sky and Clark for the Indiana Fever. The game was close, with the Sky narrowly defeating the Fever, but it wasn't just the scoreline that had people talking. It was the moments of tension and intensity, like when Reese clapped after a foul on Clark, reminding everyone that this rivalry was far from over. Despite the on-court drama, both Clark and Reese have consistently emphasized that their rivalry is purely competitive. Off the court, they share a mutual respect that transcends the game.
Angel's tremendous player. I have nothing but respect for her. I love her game. The way she rebounds the ball, scores the ball is absolutely incredible.
Clark said, praising Reese's ability to dominate the boards and score at will. This respect is a crucial part of what makes their rivalry so compelling. It's not about hatred or animosity. It's about two athletes pushing each other to be better, challenging each other on the biggest stages, and in the process, bringing more attention to the sport they love. As we look ahead, the future of this rivalry is bright. With more WNBA matchups to come and the possibility of future NCAA encounters, the story of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese is far from finished. Their rivalry is more than just a headline. It's a testament to the evolution of women's basketball, the breaking down of gender stereotypes, and the celebration of competitive spirit in its purest form. So, what's next for Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese? Will their rivalry continue to define women's basketball, or will new stars emerge to challenge their dominance? One thing's for sure, this is a story that's still being written, and we're all on the edge of our seats waiting to see what happens next. Stay tuned, because the next chapter in this rivalry is bound to be just as explosive as the last. Imagine this. Caitlin Clark, fresh off her historic college run, steps onto the court. The crowd roars, but in seconds, she's slammed to the floor. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Is this just tough love from seasoned pros? Or is the WNBA targeting its newest star? Today, we're diving into the league's roughest plays and how one rookie sensation might be getting more than her fair share of hard knocks. Caitlin Clark's transition to the pros? It's been anything but smooth. The WNBA has always been known for its physical style of play. It's part of what makes the game exciting. But lately, fans and analysts alike are wondering, has it gone too far? Let's rewind to the start of the 2024 season. Caitlin Clark, fresh off her record-breaking college career, steps onto the court for her pro debut. The anticipation is electric, but what happens next shocks everyone. Within the first quarter, Clark is knocked to the ground 3 times. Hard. We're talking bone-rattling hits that leave her visibly shaken. Is this just tough defense or something more? Physical play isn't new in women's basketball. Legends like Lisa Leslie and Cheryl Swoops faced their share of rough treatment. But the game has evolved, and so have the players. They're stronger, faster, and more skilled than ever before. But here's where things get alarming. In just 10 games, Clark's been fouled an average of 7.2 times per game, nearly double the league average. This isn't just rough play, it's an onslaught. Take the game against the Chicago Sky. Midway through the third quarter, Clark drives to the basket. As she goes up for the layup, Chennedy Carter crashes into her, shoulder-checking Clark and sending her hard to the floor. The foul wasn't even called initially, igniting controversy and raising questions about whether officials are turning a blind eye. Clark's stats tell the story. She's been whistled for 32 personal fouls this season, 4th most in the league, and involved in 78 total foul calls, the highest of any player. This isn't just about playing hard, it's about targeted aggression. In a recent game against the New York Liberty, Clark found herself in another precarious situation. After being hit on a screen, she signaled to her ear, clearly in discomfort. She briefly left the game, reportedly dealing with temporary hearing issues, before returning to the court. This incident, among others, has sparked a debate. Is Caitlin Clark being unfairly targeted and even bullied by veteran players who might resent her immense popularity and hype? Critics argue this is just part of the game. She needs to toughen up, they say. But is that fair? Or is Clark being singled out because of her star power? Let's take a look at her fellow rookie stars. While they've faced physical play, none have been body-checked, double-teamed, and left on the hardwood like Clark. Why the special treatment? Even the WNBA's response has been criticized as tepid. Commissioner Adam Silver downplayed the situation, dismissing the rough play as a welcome-to-the-league moment. But for many, this explanation isn't enough. The calls to protect Clark and other young stars from overly aggressive tactics that could lead to injuries are growing louder. It's not just about Clark. The overall level of physicality in the WNBA has been ramping up for years. Players are getting injured more frequently. Games are becoming more about brute force than skill and finesse. Take the recent matchup between the Las Vegas Aces and the Connecticut Sun. What should have been a showcase of elite talent turned into a slugfest. By the final buzzer, 3 players had left the game with injuries. So what's driving this trend? Some point to the increased stakes. With more money and media attention in women's basketball, the pressure to win has never been higher. Others argue it's a natural evolution of the sport as players get stronger and more athletic. But there's a fine line between tough competition and dangerous play, and right now that line is getting blurrier by the game. Let's circle back to Clark. Despite the rough treatment, she's still putting up impressive numbers. But at what cost? In a post-game interview, Clark admitted, "Sometimes it feels like I'm playing football out there." She acknowledges she'll take a few hard shots per game and tries not to let it bother her, accepting it as part of the rookie initiation process. But how long can this go on? This isn't just about one player, it's about the future of the league. If rising stars like Clark are constantly at risk, what message does this send to young talent? And what does it mean for the future of the WNBA, where fans come to witness skill, not skirmishes? Fans tune in to see amazing athletes perform at the highest level. They want to see Clark's incredible three-pointers, not watch her pick herself up off the floor time and time again. The treatment Clark has endured highlights a broader issue: the challenges young phenoms face when entering professional sports leagues. Veteran players, perhaps threatened by the new wave of talent, might resort to physicality to maintain their dominance. But should this be the norm? Let's consider the impact on the WNBA as a whole. If the league doesn't address these aggressive tactics, it risks alienating both current and future stars. The excitement of watching top-tier talent could be overshadowed by concerns for player safety. So, what's the solution? Some are calling for stricter enforcement of existing rules. Others want new regulations specifically targeting excessive physical play. There's even talk of implementing harsher penalties for flagrant fouls to deter overly aggressive behavior. The league is at a crossroads. As the WNBA continues to grow in popularity, it needs to decide what kind of game it wants to be. A showcase of skill and athleticism, or a physical battle where only the toughest survive? The debate around physicality in the WNBA isn't just heating up, it's boiling over. And Caitlin Clark? She's at the center of the storm. Will the league crack down, or will the hits keep coming? One thing's for sure, every time Clark takes the court, it's not just her shots we're watching, it's the battle she's fighting to play her game.